Welcome to another Liquid Bullet Productions. I've just got a former guest coming on. He's hit the headlines and the news again, ruffled a few feathers. Mr. Kane PEMBERTON.
How's it going,
Kane?
Yeah, good.
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, good.
Well, good. Kane, what's been going on, mate? We see you all across the news again. Police corruption. Can you give us a little hint of what's going on?
Well, I've been slagged off all across the internet again. The girl you met when we did the last podcast, she was the police officer in question, and when we split up, she decided to have me arrested.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then they interviewed me. It was all false allegations from her.
Yeah.
And the next day, I was released without charge on the entire thing, and then they went and investigated her. The gist of it was me and her went back some years ago, and we were together when we were 17, 18. Right. You know, just before I'd the first time I'd been to prison. Right. So what happened was her parents had this disliking to me. Her dad was ex-MI5, believe it or not.
Really?
He was an intelligence guy to that. So as you can imagine, he always hated me, which is quite accepted, really. But he just had a fucking problem with me, and so did the mum, and they've always had this issue with me. So what keeps happening is over the years, me and her got back together. It's been kept a secret from them. And then the day they find out is always the day that shit hits the fan, basically. And that was the same again this time. So they found out after we'd been together for 2 years. And then they start making the stories up. He's driving past the house. He's scaring the grandchildren. Instead, no one fucking was. I was like 50 miles away. I was having to send them live locations of me. I'm nowhere near you. Stop making your stories up to make me look bad. And that's, again, what's happened here with this now. So the newspapers have printed all this. She's going out with a criminal, and she's been sacked for that. And that's simply weren't the case. It was, as you know, my last offence was 6 years ago, and I've been classed as a rehabilitated offender for however long now. I run a decent security company. I work alongside the council. I've worked alongside the police with my security company after. So even though they haven't named me in the papers, they've given me a fucking stupid name like Mr. A. But everyone who knows I was with me knows it's me. So this is my issue. So they're going on that I'm this criminal, and they're just trying to make me look bad to make her look worse, which I don't think is quite fair. So I thought, well, I better put my side of this out, because I'm not being made out to be some current criminal by all the media and their police. So when I was interviewed, they said she basically travelled, it was 50 miles away to make a statement, so they didn't find out she was a copper.
Oh, really?
And this was, I think her parents forced her to make the statement, because for a copper, it looked like it had been written by a fucking 5-year-old, what she said about me. Yeah. But they had blackmail on the charges, which was basically me asking for me stuff back from her house. And her parents said, no, you're not having it back. So all the messages to prove it. And this was, so I said, if you don't give it me back, things are going to escalate. And you're not going to want that. And that was the blackmail I was arrested for. So, well, it's not really blackmail, is it? I said, my answer to it was, I said, it's like a free crystal ball that I've said, look into and see your future if I don't get my stuff back. I said, well, if I've got to go to the police station to report my stuff stolen, what am I going to do? Say, can you go and arrest your officer there for stealing my stuff? And all they had to do was give it me back. But no, they went down this road. So I thought, blackmail carries 7 years. So I thought, fuck you now. I thought, trying to have me with this. So as I explained to the copper, I said, who are you going to trust? A rehabilitated offender or a corrupt copper? I said, because the amount of times I was sat there through COVID, seeing what was on the police national computer, hundreds of paedophiles, all circled in orange, you know, and sure, look at this paedophile here, look at this one, look at that one. you know. So I was privy to all these stories of her working from home. So she did like county lines intelligence. So the stuff I was privy to on that, it was that was what was spoke about in the interview. So I think I was asked 3 questions and released, and they said, "We're sorry to have kept you,"
Yeah.
and offered me a lift home. I
So,
said, "No,
so what happened to her? If like sort of that story twisted round there, sort of, did they look into her about?
Well, yeah,
anything
they've
with her?
looked into her, but this is what they've done. What I initially said to them, that was what they said they had to go and look into. So they've disappeared off. So what I think is, instead, if she'd have looked into that, she'd have faced criminal charges. This was the point, but she hasn't. She's just been dismissed for not declaring me on a vetting form because
Right.
of my ex-offences. So the way they've made it out is she's been sacked for going out of a criminal. That's not the case, right? So if you look at the human rights, you've got Article 8, and it's called Right to a Private Life. Now, if she had declared me in the first place, which you've told her to do, and she was advised by other mates to do, who were in the police force, this wouldn't have been an issue. It was only an issue that if she declared me, her intelligence working father would have found out about us. So that was what she was scared of happening. So that was the only thing that could actually have her on to dismiss her without facing any charge in trying to bring more police into the limelight for corruption. So they had to get rid of her for that.
Blimey. So really, she shot herself in the foot with all
Oh,
that, really.
fucking hell,
Then.
yeah. Yeah, she did,
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
thought you
crazy.
can't make me out to be some criminal like they're doing, you know, when
No.
I've done nothing wrong. I remember her parents give her the ultimatum, you've got till 1 o'clock to leave him or you're losing your entire family.
Oh,
So
ridiculous.
I was,
Ridiculous,
so I
isn't it?
thought, so it ended up me going, she's still got me fucking dog. She wouldn't even give me dog back.
Oh dear.
Like all my stuff, my dog. I left her house with nothing because I was paying for a load of things as well. So it says in the report we had a degree of shared finances. You know, they've obviously looked into it because I get paid through the security, but they haven't mentioned anything about it. But what I was actually paying for, I was paying for her therapy, her mortgage on a house that she couldn't afford from her wages. So it was like I should have switched on really and clicked onto this sooner.
Yeah.
But it's like the therapy that she apparently wanted, stuff like that. And it's like when me and her were younger, she was an all right person to be around, but I should have seen the signs a little bit, you know, as time's
Mate.
gone on. So I thought, like, well, try to speak to her, like, why are you needing therapy and all this, and as these stories come out, and like I say, it's not there's no secret because we've got it all our messages off her, so it's not I'm not saying anything to slag anyone off. It's there from her mouth. You know, it's like I think she had an affair. This guy from town
Oh.
who was married, and he was called Dan Cowley. He was called, and I've got it on message, so I don't care if they find out. It's from her, so I'm not bothered. But it was like that, and she's going on, oh, he raped me. And then her ex-partner had apparently raped her. And all this stuff. And this is what I was paying for therapy for her.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like maybe these alarm bells should have rung a bit sooner and thought,
Yeah.
this girl's no fucking oil painting, Lee.
Yeah. Like I
Right?
say, it sort of
So
tells you a little bit, doesn't it? If
she's
being
no
raped
oil
once, being
painting, and
raped twice,
I can't see how every ex-partner has fucking raped her and sexually assaulted her. So I
sounds
should
a
have
bit
known that I'd
suspicious,
be
doesn't
on
it,
some
mate?
form of charges at the end of this, but you don't realise at the time, don't you? You know.
Nah,
So
right.
that so all that happens, and then they've just made me out to be this fucking criminal, just to make her look a little bit worse, rather than saying
Did
the
I
actual
not
facts to
realise
it.
the Michael Jackson song they wrote was about you? You're a smooth criminal.
Well, that's what I said. I've been recently getting into wrestling, ironically, right? And they've called me fucking Mr. A in the papers. So I think that's going to be my new wrestling name, the Master of
Yeah.
Misconduct. I'm
Yeah,
going to call it.
So Kane, listen, we was already talking before all this happened about you was going to come on and do a part 2 with us.
Yeah.
You still up for that? We're going to come on and do another one?
Yeah, I'm going to do another one with you. I just wanted to get this out of the way because it's all hit the headlines at the minute, and
yeah, I see it, mate.
having
It's
contracts
there,
with
isn't
the
it?
council and stuff. You know, it's
Yeah.
not this problem isn't me. This problem's the XMI5 dad. You know what I mean? From Congleton, he's a fucking prick. And then these charges that have been on and then dropped, and then all the newspapers again, you've done this, you've done that. Everyone knows my past. It's all there. I've openly discussed everything on podcasts before, everything else. And, you know, I'm not making me look bad
trying to
because
be
someone's.
just trying to be petty with silly things to use your past against you.
Yeah,
Really,
well, that's what they've done. They've just that family has just gone. Oh, you need to use your police powers and have him arrested. It's like, hang on, for fucking, she weren't complaining for 2 years, was she? You know,
that's right.
she was. So there's been no issues for the 2 years until they found out. Then suddenly I'm arrested.
Yeah,
You know, I
crazy.
thought, well, that's fucking backfired on you, hasn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, I needed to address these accusations because they're not. I'm not being made out to be that way, especially since I've been doing so well. My company's doing well. That's growing really well. Training's going brilliant as always. You know, even Giant's won 4 fights now.
Ah, cool.
You remember him?
Good stuff. Yeah. I remember the lad used to
won
train.
4 fights now.
Good
So yeah,
stuff.
so from me, you, I mean, you see me just be. Last time you see me was this had all gone on after that. So since that, I had to left the house with nothing, went back to my gym, and then carried on from there. And then the security company's going really well.
That's good. Good to hear, mate. Good.
So yeah,
right,
so
Kane,
we'll be down for a part 2 soon.
Yeah, we get a date sorted out. I'll come down and see you, and we'll do the part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sound. Yeah, whenever you want.
Cool.
I'll accommodate you again like last time.
Perfect. We got looked after. True gentleman. Much appreciated.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, and Kane, we'll wind it up there, mate, and we'll catch up soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick one before you go.
Go on, mate.
Yeah. Fuck the police.
All right.